Hi, it's Melanie. I do content for giving people an idea of what transitioning looks like before you are transitioned, before it's complete and hormones have done their things and whatever surgeries that I definitely want to get. Basically, for someone that was in my shoes a year ago, like what could I expect life to be like? What could I expect it to look like? All that sort of thing. Or for someone who supports someone who's trans or just wants to understand it and help them through that for whatever reason. So this video is going to be about like what is trans and understanding what being trans is. And I'm going to do my very, very best to avoid medical terms. I'm not going to, I could basically use the simplest terms possible so that someone who has never heard of what it is to be trans could walk away from this video and understand what that's about. And I say that because I did a video a little bit ago, like a few days or something, maybe a week, I don't know. But I did a video a few days ago covering what my thoughts were on the workplace discrimination issues I've been going through. And to put it simply, I'll link them in the description below, that one plus another one I'll mention in a little bit. That basically I was discriminated against, I was harassed, I'm being given unequal workloads, just all of that stuff. If people are interested, go to the video, watch it. But essentially that's it. It's on audio and video. It's not disputed. It's fact. But they need me to make a statement, and I'm refusing. I don't want these people fired. I just want them to live their lives. I want to live my life. I'm getting transferred. My situation is solved. And some other people are basically saying, like, you're just allowing this to happen to somebody else. And I say, well, yeah, but do we really think their behavior has changed? Is what has been accomplished? They don't work for this company anymore. Okay. So what does that actually do? They do the same thing at another job place. I don't think I've actually changed how they think. I don't think the company has curbed their behavior. I think they just do it to somebody else. I might even fuel some of that fire for them, as the comments in that video have said. Okay, so the video I posted, it was workplace discrimination solved, MAGA defeated, and I remember when I made the title, I was like looking at my wife and being like, oh my god, this is actually kind of funny. Like, what if I put like MAGA defeated? Like, wouldn't that be hilarious? Like those other videos that are like, you know, whatever, and it's not good, or like, you know, and it's bad, MAGA bombshell, whatever, right? Like those fucking just clickbaity titles. So I put one in there because I thought it'd be funny. It's hilarious. They are triggered, for sure. It's so funny. Honestly, like, it's hard to just delete the negative comments and not troll them. There was one commenter who said I was, like, being unreasonable and, like, not being compassionate, and that I don't care about anyone else but myself, and I only care about my feelings. Meanwhile, I'm, like, doing my best not to have these people fired. I said it in the video, and I was like, hey, I think you might be misunderstanding. He's like, you know, you need to give people time to adjust, and like you're forcing these changes on them without caring how it impacts them. Okay. So I was like, hey, here's a video I did on being misgendered. I think that might clear some things up for you. I don't think, you know, I think that we're pretty much on the same line there. I think they should get benefit of the doubt, blah, 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 blah. I've got both of them down below. So if you're interested to get the context, just watch them. But anyway, there's like people and they're saying like, you know, you're not fooling anybody. And it's like, yes, I know. I'm very well aware. Yep, I know. I'm not expecting to fool anyone. I am a trans lady. That's what I'm trying to pass as, is a trans lady. I'm not trying to pass as a cis woman. The bar for passing as a trans lady is super low. It is super low. There are some trans ladies who look gorgeous. There are some great dolls that do pass as cis women. I'm just not one of them. Not yet, anyway. So it's funny. It's hard to not look at that person that is like, you know, you're not fooling anyone, you know, like, and not go like, okay, is it the mascara? Maybe it's the liquid blush. Should I use just a powdered one instead? Is it a different shade of foundation that would make a difference? Less concealer on the eyes? Like, what's your thing? Is it too much glitter? I bet that's really clocky. Yeah, I know. No one's born with glitter on them. That's super clocky. maybe you could give me some tips on how to vocally feminize, because I really struggle with that. It's hard, but obviously, like, you probably have the answers, and it's so hard not to troll them back. It's difficult. So far, I haven't. One commenter I kind of like spoke with and gave my opinion because he was being somewhat like, reasonable about it. He basically said he didn't understand. So this is in response to that / just about being trans, to answer his question or anyone else that may be wondering the same thing. So I'm born a man, but I don't feel like one. That's being trans. I was born a man. I don't feel like one. I never have. There are like layers of facade that I went through over the course of years to like fill in the gap for what I was supposed to be, quote unquote, and not what I am. I'm supposed to be, according to my father, I'm supposed to be like a fucking tough guy. I'm like really athletic, and I guess I still have my athleticism. I'm not really like in shape or anything like that, but I'm supposed to be a tough guy. I was a Marine. So there's a lot of like efforts I made to like hide how fucking femme I was. This has been a thing I've been fighting with for literally decades. So the best way I could equate it to someone who is not trans and has never heard of it, and that doesn't make sense to them. Like, well, what do you mean you were born a man and you don't feel like a man? Like, it doesn't make sense. Were you saying like you're a wuss or something? It's not necessarily like that. It's more about the way that I identify doesn't line up with what I was born as far as my sex, how you would sex me. I'm born male, right? So if I'm born male and I don't feel like that, like when I shop for clothes and I see this and it's like, ooh, that is super cute. I like wearing glitter. I smile more in glitter. I like it. It's very sparkly. It's happy. I also like wearing things that are like bunnies. I love butterflies, hearts. I like Care Bears. Hello Kitty is like super cute. Lots of people wear those things. Lots of grown-ass women, and some men too. So, one comment asked why I was wearing a kid shirt because I don't own a Care Bears shirt, and it was like, dude, I'm 6'1". That's definitely not a kid. No one is talking about children except you. You are the only freak in this channel right now. So there's like different layers of expression, but ultimately when I am expressing my womanhood, I feel a lot better. I smile more. I'm in a better mood, and I'm not hurting anybody either. No one is affected by this. I am a trans lady, so trans woman, right? Like she, her. Lady, woman, she, her. It makes sense. I don't pass as a man either. I didn't pass as a man at the police academy, and that was months ago. It was literally like fucking, how many months ago was that? 3 or 4 by now? Maybe 4? Maybe 3. Something like that. Where I was not able to pass as a man to the police academy to even be qualified. They basically said I had to stop being trans or I could not be, admitted. So essentially that's kind of what it boils down to. And the other way I could put it is to say like, all right, what if we change the rules? Like, because for me, the rules are different. If I have to like dress and play the boy part, those are different rules. I have to go out of my way to fit a certain narrative or like a facade that I don't agree with. It's weird. It's weird to have to like play up that role. So, and that's really what it is, right? They're male and female roles. They're just roles that we fill in society. That's all. It's not deeper than that. And I don't say that to like talk down to anybody, but it is really just that simple. Same with the pronouns. Trans lady, she, her. It's that simple. So as far as like the attire goes, it would be similar to someone who, and same to the response of the kids stuff. Like, I fucking like Care Bears. Okay, I like Hello Kitty. A lot of grown-ass adults do. A lot of grown-ass adults like Star Wars. A lot of grown-ass adults like fucking Super Mario. A lot of fucking grown-ass adults like Lord of the Rings. Tolkien wrote that for his children. World of Warcraft. Oh my god, look at all the spells and magic, guys. Look at my big, huge shield I'm wearing. Let's play pretend. They're buying a t-shirt or something that they identify with. It's the same thing. I identify with... I love pink. It's my favorite color. I love butterflies. That's not my fault. It's not my fault or my choice that I wish to express myself this way. Just as it's not their fault that they enjoy Star Wars or they enjoy whatever they enjoy. It's just identification with something that they relate to. So another way that I think it makes sense is to be like, okay, let's take Donald Trump and let's apply that same rule that he once applied to me. I have to identify with the opposite gender, right? Like, I feel like a woman, but I have to identify as a man. There's no other choice. Because I have to be opposite of what I, identify with. Now let's do the same to Trump when he's giving his little speech about, like, this was the greatest attack ever. It was the most stealthy, most successful attack in military history. There's never been a stealthier attack. Normandy D-Day. Right, like, beyond his nonsense. Let's say that he had to do that in a dress. Let's say that he had to identify as a woman that day. Let's put him in a necklace, maybe some pearls, get him all nice and dolled up. Make sure he knows his voice has to change too, though. He has to, like, pass for that, because the whole nation will laugh at him if he doesn't. They'll call him insane. Like, that's a real thing. I don't think his speech sounds the same. I think he's probably a little humiliated. He's probably embarrassed. He's probably ashamed. Probably doesn't feel like he can relate to people as well. He might have to put on a facade to try and fill the role that we are saying he has to fill right then. And the same would be true to someone who was born a woman who wants to be a man. They deserve representation too. Let's say that, whoever's mom has to, like, walk around as a man today. It would be weird for her. She wouldn't feel comfortable. She might not smile as much. Why would I want her to smile less? Why would I care? I want her to smile. I don't know whose mom I'm talking about right now. I want her to smile. I'm not a shithead. I know, I'm so insane. I need to be in an asylum, like one of the commenters said. It's hilarious. They get so triggered over me, like, saying, yeah, go ahead, smile. Like, whatever. Whatever. So it is interesting, and part of being trans is knowing that the rules aren't going to be the same for you sometimes, and that's one of them. People are going to act that way, and they're going to act that way, but what would happen if Trump had to give that speech that way? I don't think he delivers it the same way. I just don't. I don't think he feels comfortable. I don't think he feels comfortable doing that. And I don't think most people would feel comfortable in that way. Some people might not care either way. Some people might be okay, but they're not going to pass, and there might be some criticism they get for that. Even though they're forced, like the same way I was given criticism for not being man enough. The way I sat was just super femme. I like to cross my leg. I, took a stance with my hip whenever I was standing on something. There's been a lot of shit I got over the years about how twinky I am or whatever. So it wasn't good enough to begin with. I already wasn't masculine enough for you. I just am not hiding the fact that I'm not masculine anymore. So all of those same people that had an issue with how feminine I am, well, you were right, I am. Yep. Hi. Why do you have a problem now referring to me that way? That's kind of similar to what it's like. It is humiliating. It is embarrassing to have to go out masquerading as man. I'm not saying I wasn't born a man. I'm not denying that. I'm just denying any sort of, like, I was never linked up with that. And nor, again, did I ask to be that way. That's the best way I can describe what being trans is that, to take it all the way back, I was born a man, but I never, ever felt that way and had to try so hard to try and fit that bill that it did damage to me. I was unhappy. I was depressed. I was on drugs. I'm not on drugs anymore. I don't have those issues. And I'm not saying that, like, obviously there were internal battles I was having that I was able to overcome. But this helps. This helps. Even while I was clean, I was still struggling. I'm not struggling. I was struggling for years to stay clean. Had some fun nights, right? Like, I had a couple of fun nights where I was like, I'm going to engage in this behavior to get it out of my system so I don't have to think about it for another year or two. That was being clean for me. That was the best way I could stay actively clean and mentally healthy, was to engage in this self-destructive behavior that was highly illegal. Like, I'm not doing it anymore. I don't want to do it anymore because I'm happier. I'm more in touch with my emotions. I get like, not get along better with my wife, but like, damn, do we have a lot in common. And we have more in common now that I'm able to talk with her. I can relate to her emotions. I can empathize with where she's coming from. Overall, this has been a great personal change. The issues I've had are in places where people are bigots. That's the problem, is that people are not able to handle this. And to the Ben Shapiros of the world who say that I have a mental disability, like, whatever, fine, I guess put me on SSI? Sure, the government can pay me, whatever. I guess. They already fucking kicked me out of the Marines for being fucking in a relationship with a trans person, so sure, why not? Fuck them. The other thing I would say to him on a more serious note, if I'm mentally delusional and I have a handicap, is this how you like treat handicapped people? Is this how we treat them? Do we look at the person who doesn't have two legs? Maybe they have one, maybe they have two, or I'm sorry, maybe they have one, maybe they have zero, maybe they're quadriplegic, they're disabled. Do we look at them and say, like, hey, you know what? You disgusting fuck. You don't deserve access to this restaurant. We're not servicing you, and you don't get to go to the same bathroom. You don't get to go to the bathroom here. Since you're not able to make up your mind, you don't get to go here at all. We're going to refuse you service. Get the fuck out. Is that rational? No, we don't litigate against them. That's nonsense. We actually treat them medically, like with medicine. In my case, the best thing that they have for me is hormone replacement therapy. And there's some surgeries I can get, just like with someone who has a physical ailment. There's some surgeries that can help them with that. I'm fine with someone who thinks it's a condition. I don't care. Then treat me like I have one then. Don't be a fucking asshole. So all in all, like, I don't lose sleep about it anymore, honestly, like, to the point that I just want transferred to a place where they will just be normal with me. That was the big solve to all that, is not reporting anyone, not getting them fired. So being trans is literally just not, I don't see life through the lens in a gender-wise, like male and female. I don't agree with what I was born at, like emotionally, mentally, appearance-wise. I didn't know what trans people were growing up. But man, was I femme, man, did I like girly stuff, quote unquote, right? Like, just, I liked that stuff. I liked playing with Barbie dolls. I will admit it. I definitely did. So that all being said, those, and not any one of these things or any combination of them forces someone to be trans, except for they literally just don't identify with what they were born as. It really comes down to that. And to the newer trans person or someone who's thinking about it, don't expect everyone to be receptive. They are not. Just cast them out, do away with them as much as you can. Give them as wide a berth as possible. Understand that people are going to be people, and that they don't rule your life. They don't rule your reality. And that all kinds of science, both medical and like a biological sense, are behind us, as well as cultural human history. These people that are saying this about us being like fucking disabled, or we're like threats to society, or children, or women, or whatever, right? That's the same shit they said about colored people. They said similar shit about gay people. Gay people had to carry around a fucking card that said they had a mental condition called sexual perversion because they were gay. Same with trans people. That was like a thing for a long time. We're just the target right now. One of them anyway. There's some Latino people being targeted, and just foreigners in general that are in the country, or people that look different than white. It's fucked. It's fucked, but it's that same bigotry. It takes on different faces, but it is the exact same thing. So that's why I think, again, there's nothing wrong with what I'm doing. The fact that they have an issue with it means I'm at least getting somewhere. Clearly, I'm offending MAGA, so I'm making some progress in my transition. yeah, I think that's about all I have. I hope that it makes sense to people who may have never heard of trans people or are struggling to reconcile with it themselves. Um, and with that, I will go ahead and cut it. Bye bye.